Hi guys, let's get into part 2 of the reaction video to the movie Marriage Story from 2019.
See the photos? I don't need to see the photos.
As you can see, there is a setup. Laura, her attorney Nora, and her husband was his attorney here. I personally would avoid this setup immediately because the lawyer is posing in front of the client. You see
I'm sure they both look beautiful.
how snarky.
It's my client's expectation.
The way they talk, they wouldn't talk in chambers when in closed rooms when they had mediators. So what I would do, I would pick a very experienced neutral mediator and create either Zoom rooms or different rooms, but not let the lawyers speak in front of the clients. It is absolute no-go. It sabotages every single case. The mediator has a way to speak to the other side without them hearing the voice of their soon-to-be ex-spouses. And that's magic because they hear it from an experienced retired judge who is providing wisdom, legal expertise, not advice, but guiding how they would help to navigate this case to resolution. Here, it's more a theater. They're acting in front of each other, and who is snarkier, who is more bulldog in this case. And I would say Nora, because the way she speaks, it's just showing her knowing the case better and ready to go to litigate if this doesn't settle. So probably his lawyer, but we'll see.
That after this TV show is completed, the parties will move back to New York, where they currently keep an apartment.
And it's my understanding that Charlie promised Nicole that they would spend more time in Los Angeles during...
So what happened is they agreed that she would have a theater piece in Los Angeles, moving from Washington State, and then come back, but it wasn't in writing.
Marriage, because of his...
Learning lesson. Once the other spouse moves with a child to another state and stays there for more than 6 months, the child will have that state as a home state, in this case California. And so the custody case can start in California unless he files a request for order to return the child before 6 months.
Charlie was offered a residency at the Geffen Playhouse that would have taken his work and his family to Los Angeles for a year. And he turned it down, even though that was Nicole's desire.
He wanted to maintain consistency for his family, his child.
Was this the same consistency he wanted to maintain when they went to Copenhagen for 6 months?
And this is how you see she knows the facts better. So, and that's where you know the quality of work, when a lawyer gets to know the client's story so well. And how can you beat that, right?
They could direct a play. Now, while I understand that Charlie lives in New York, and when it's convenient to his work schedule, he flies out to see his son.
He flies out here every chance he gets.
I don't see any reason that you can't be out here full
Makes his
time.
living in New York.
And now it becomes very heated and argumentative. This is exactly why this setup, it shows, it becomes a game in a way, because now...
All right, do we want to contemplate lunch?
Good idea.
See how they switched to lunch as if it's just a game. They had a very, very heated conversation that is the core issue of this couple's life.
For now, so it'll come when we're all hungry.
Yeah.
Everyone good with mayonnaise?
I'd love mayonnaise.
Look at his...
Have you had Manny?
Look at his face. Desperation. Lost. I mean, really? This wouldn't happen in mediation. This is so careless and so disingenuous to their feelings. I think this is a really, really showing how important it would be to have a separate room.
In Los Angeles, Nicole, of course, agrees that it will be best for Henry that he see each parent equally.
Okay, so When he's in Los Angeles, she proposes that he sees his child equally with Nicole when she has Henry most of the time. I mean, this is hitting below the belt. I mean, I understand she is advocating for her client's position, but that kind of stand in mediation is ruining the chance to settle.
It's pretty nice out here, Charlie. You should give it a chance.
Yeah.
And now she's self-pedaling. It's pretty nice out here. Well, it's not about nice. It's about him agreeing for her to move temporarily, and now she's staying there, right? So what is the solution? Where is the...
And the space. Can't beat it.
I love it too. But all of our personal feelings about the two cities aside, we don't share your assertion that the couple is an LA-based family. It was very clearly their deal that they would go back to New York after Nicole finished her show.
I'm not aware of any deal.
Didn't get it in writing.
And that's, again, should have gotten it in writing.
Charlie, is this like the deal that you made that you and Nicole would spend more time in LA during your marriage?
We didn't have a deal. It was something we discussed. But
So it's a deal when it's something you want and a discussion when Nicole wants it?
And that's, again, advocating 100%. Well done, yet not promoting mediation. I mean, she's holding a very, very strong position that he's not going to agree to. I mean, if I were in her shoes, I would probably offer him some more time when he's in LA, actually.
Sidebar.
I want to see my kid, not to set a precedent.
Yes, but unfortunately you are setting a precedent.
Exactly. So by allowing her to move to another state and stay there over 6 months, he's setting precedent when he sees his children or his child only once a month. That's what judge is going to adopt. A little bit more or less, but that's what he's doing, setting precedent.
And a judge might look at it that way.
What's the alternative? I stay in New York and never come out here?
No, because then it would look to the court like you don't care about seeing your son.
Court or no court?
And so now he's getting irritated at his lawyer because his lawyer constantly talks about how it would look to the court. And yes, we constantly, as lawyers, develop a case as if we have to present it to the court because we have to follow California rules and what if. And it's hard to understand when we're in mediation here.
Stop saying court and then never court.
Well, the way this is going, we may have to go to court. If I were representing you...
If I were representing you, here's already this lawyer stepping back from the rapport he built and accidentally, maybe it's a Freudian slip because he doesn't want to represent him. He's saying, if I were to represent you. So that's already a clue for the client to look for another lawyer.
You are representing me.
Right, no, of course, no. I don't see a judge moving this child from California.
Okay, so now he is working his own client to agree to the deal Nora proposed, because now he's saying the judge would not move. Well, did she stay there for 6 months? Because if not, he should have filed an ex parte moving the child. The question is, would it be in the best interest of a child to move? That's the question for the judge to decide. But it seems like it's a done deal that the lawyer took Nora's side.
I think we try and settle today.
Settle.
So he's pushing for settlement today, which is fine, but it's not what, I mean, it's gotta be a give-give situation.
Meeting what?
She gets LA.
No, Bert, just no. I mean, we have to win this.
Okay, now he's flipping to the way that the first lawyer he interviewed speaks about win. And I don't know how the win is going to look to him, but it's assume moving the child back to New York.
Remember, the win is what's best for Henry. And if you guys go to court, he's
Correct.
going to get pulled into it.
But if he stays here and I stay in New York, it's just that I won't.
And you know, move away cases are the toughest cases in our business. I mean, Montenegro case, if you want to read Case of Appeal, it's really, really, really tough when parents are moving so far to determine what's in the best interest of a child. And this is where I think child custody evaluator has to come in.
I'll do whatever you want me to do, but this is my advice. I've seen these things go on, and the burden of these battles is immeasurable. I had a client get colon.
Now he's infusing fear into his client into settlement. That's another tactic to get a client to agree to something he doesn't want.
Cancer and died before he and his wife came to agreement.
It doesn't apply to him. Seriously, he's young. The chances that he's going to get cancer is not, but he's driving the point that it can take years, and it's true.
What about filing in New York?
It's too late. And even if you did, I don't think it would matter. They're being reasonable financially, you know. You're lucky they didn't ask for half your grant money.
Okay, now he infused fear, and now he's infusing another point of, well, if you agree to LA, they will agree to financials, which is not on the table, and knowing Nora, it's not what's going to happen, probably.
That she knows I put all that money back in my theater.
If this continues, she might.
The actors and crew all rely on that money. A court would never agree with this, right?
Whether they do or not, it'll cost you half your grant money to go to court and prove it.
That's correct. By the time they're going to get to a court hearing and a trial, they might have already spent, already the first lawyer said $25,000 on a lawyer, $25,000 on an expert, spending his half and potentially paying for her attorney, most likely.
If we give on LA right now, and then try to make the best deal possible, I think we can get her to give on other fronts.
It's possible, but for him, it's no other fronts other than his child. And that's why custody cases are the toughest cases to deal with.
There are no other fronts. This is the thing. He needs to know that I fought for him.
He'll know.
I had a case where we had to go through 6-day domestic violence restraining order trial defense, pay for her attorney, pay for his attorney, spending all the assets they acquired during a short period of marriage, succeeding, and the client started the conversation with me saying, our child is 4 years old. And he got 50% of the time from supervised visitation to 2 to 3. And he said, I don't want him to come back and say, I never fought for him. And that's what it's about.
I should never have let her come out here with Henry.
If it wasn't LA and New York, it'd be something else. You'd be fighting about.
It's too late. He already did it. He didn't consult an attorney. He made such a huge decision. And that's where, when making decisions like that, always important, at least to spend half an hour. I mean, what would have been half an hour to consult a family law attorney and potentially create stipulation and order for her to move for a certain period of time and then move back to create that agreement versus what he's going to face now.
That's the word. That's terrible. Don't take that. Where are you going to stay? He doesn't want to stay at the Hassler. The Hassler? What? Are you kidding?
He's worrying already about his lawyer being not on his side, listening to his jokes when it's not even funny. But the wisdom is behind these jokes that he can't see right now because he understands his lawyer is not hearing him at all. And the clock is ticking.
Whatever happens here, it's temporary. He's growing up. He's going to have opinions on it.
It's not. It's not temporary. The moment he agrees for her to stay in LA, that's what's going to be in the future. And if he's 8 years old now, when he turns 14, it is highly unlikely that he's going to say, I'm going to leave my school, my friends, my environment I know, and move with you to New York. So this is another, I would say, inconsistency that I would not tell my client.
On the subject. Time is on your side, Charlie.
No, it's not.
Maybe he'll do college on the East Coast.
No, he will not. Probably not.
There's a couple minor things hanging, but should be easy. And then the judge makes your divorce official.
Okay, so it seems like Bird was able to convince him to agree to what Nora and her client wanted. And now they're showing up to read this agreement to the court.
That's good. Fuck me. What?
Surprise!
Who's that? Oh, Charlie.
So they didn't sign the document. They made oral agreements. Again, the same mistake he made, she made, by not memorizing at least 2 pages agreement would have been appropriate. After every single mediation, I don't leave even if it's 6 p.m. until we sign something. This would have been avoided.
This means that everything we've agreed upon now is off the table.
Exactly, because it was never signed.
Jay?
Hey.
Hi. I saw Miriam at Medeo the other night.
Yeah?
Looking very handsome.
You should come to our stand-up to cancer.
So you can tell how cordial they are with each other and their opposing counsel. It's pretty common.
And she's known as the girl in that college sex movie who takes her top off.
So what he is doing, he is making her career look less important so that it doesn't seem like she made a sacrifice by moving out of California in the first place.
My client will not be
10
slut
years
shamed for
on,
an artistic
and
choice.
many prestigious theater roles later, she becomes an actress of great credibility. And it's because of that credibility.
I'm surprised she is taking her jacket off. It's if the judge, probably the judge in the Bay Area court system would have said it's inappropriate to be so revealing. However, it's a movie. I never seen a lawyer being dressed like that after she takes that off.
That she's offered the lead role in a major television show. This new opportunity is thanks to Charlie. Your Honor, we shouldn't have...
In fact, I remember a case where it was a very hot day and the opposing counsel asked a judge if it's okay for him to take his jacket off, and he had a white shirt underneath, and the judge said it's not okay.
...to pay support money at this point. In fact, Charlie is entitled to half her TV money.
So this is the bullying tactic he was talking about in the first conversation when they first met.
Present and future earnings of the show.
It's contradicting. On one hand, he calls her street artist. On the other hand, now he wants to have future earnings of the show. So, go figure.
Charlie's just received the enormous sum of $650,000 in the form of a MacArthur grant. This is for the field work he conducted during the marriage.
Installments over 5 years.
So by Jay's same logic...
It's very uncommon that the judge will let opposing counsel speak over the first counsel, because there is a court reporter who transcribes everything, and it's impossible to transcribe when they're arguing. So the first lawyer will go, and the second lawyer doesn't interrupt, and then she would write down all the arguments and then make her arguments, and then the initial lawyer will reply to her arguments.
This is work that Nicole contributed to in numerous ways.
And to pay back debt.
One at a time, please. So that's what I just mentioned. It's really hard to transcribe that.
That he's accumulated.
The prize told Nicole that it belonged to her too.
It doesn't matter what he said to her. So as soon as he earned this money and received it during the marriage, it becomes arguably community property money.
Nora, I like how you refer to Charlie's Theater as a ramshackle downtown dump when you're arguing custody. But when you want more money...
But that's what he did too. He did the same thing with her. He said she is street artist, along these lines, something like that, and then he wants spousal support for her future career. So
He's a big, rich, genius Broadway director. You can't have it both ways.
Really, why not? And whether you think it's fair or not, Jay, the first monetary installment from the MacArthur grant was put into a joint marital account and thus became community property. So this is further.
And now you can tell how unprepared he is Again, she is very well prepared every step along the way.
Nora, I have to say that your account of this marriage takes place in an alternate reality. By suddenly moving to
And now he is attacking her personally, which is very unprofessional.
LA and insisting on an LA residence, Nicole is withholding Henry.
Counsel, please be seated.
So you see, his lack of preparation, he has to compensate with overly aggressive attitude, which shows in the way he raised his voice, he stood up, and the judge asked him to be seated. Although technically 20 years ago it was required that both lawyers will be standing while talking to the judge out of respect.
Well, those are fighting words, and it's simply false and does nothing to further this settlement.
It's beyond settlement. So they're arguing in front of the judge, and she's right. It's fighting words.
Charlie, can I ask you, how do you expect to have more time with Henry when you don't exercise the time you already have?
Okay, so this is completely inappropriate to address a client while he's being represented by opposing counsel. So I think it's more a rhetorical question, but I think a judge in this situation would admonish her to stop talking.
Charlie finally arrived 2 hours late to pick up Henry at Nicole's mother's house.
And it's a relevant point that he's being late, but again, the way she got to that point was inappropriate and unethical.
At that point, the car seat, which he had assured Nicole had been professionally installed, was clearly not even belted in. It was just sitting in the back
You have to
seat.
buckle in the car seat. It's the law.
Again, unprepared. A lawyer would ask a client, what are the points she can bring up? Do you have any alcohol consumption? Do you have any situation that she can use so we can, against you in the court hearing, that we can address prior?
I took over this department recently and am still becoming acquainted with the cases, so I'm going to appoint an expert evaluator who knows much more about young children than I do. Once the evaluation is done, we'll modify the orders where necessary.
Okay, so this is very typical why court system is very slow. So now this case is set back for at least half a year to a year. The judge has a huge room of people with, potentially 30 people sitting waiting for their case to be called, and it's only usually from 9 to 12:30 max, with a break, half an hour in between. So cases get 20 minutes each, and now it is, of course, for the judge difficult to decide on the spot after hearing all these arguments, and it's a very good decision to appoint a child custody evaluator, which inadvertently establishes residency in LA, which comes back to the point that he should have filed an ex parte the moment he realized he made a mistake by letting her go to LA.
Face it, the idea of a good father was only invented like 30 years ago. Before that, fathers were expected to be silent and absent and unreliable and selfish. And we can all say we want them to be different. But on some basic level, we accept them. We love them for their fallibilities, but people absolutely don't accept those same failings in mothers. We don't accept it structurally, and we don't accept it spiritually, because the basis of our Judeo-Christian whatever is Mary, mother of Jesus, and she's perfect. She's a virgin who gives birth.
She brings up a really good point, because a man who is dating a woman who is socially not acceptable in a way where she has criminal record, treated differently than a woman dating a man who was a domestic violence restraining order abuser. Where I had the case, the judge said, if you talk to this guy again, I will take away the custody. I'm not kidding.
Nancy, can I get you anything?
I'm easy. A glass of water?
This is a child custody evaluator evaluating the safety of the home, how they interact. She seems very cold, and I would expect her to be more interactive and ask questions and not just stand there and observe and be so stiff and really scary.
What's a day like for the two of you here?
I'm glad
Well, if he
she's
has school, I take him there.
talking.
Of course, and pick him up, assuming I can do both.
What prevents you from picking him up?
Work. I'm preparing a play and directing in a few months.
Oh, what is that?
Casimir and Caroline by Odon von Horvath. We're doing At the Barrel in New York.
So you have to be away.
Yes, recently, since Nicole's been working on this.
Now she's going to ask questions to assess his availability, fitability for as a parent, and she will propose a schedule. She will propose whether moving to New York is a good idea, and right off the bat you can tell he's unprepared. Why? Because the first thing he said to her is he's busy, he is working, which is true. However, the story can be framed differently. If I were him, first I would prepare better and speak to the lawyer, but it was a lawyer's job, like Nora did with her client, to prepare him, to make sure he can say that my work, the first sentence should have come out of his mouth, my work is flexible, whatever it takes to be with my son. And it's true, because he's working. I mean, I don't know if it's 100% true, but that's what he could arrange if he really wants to get more time with his son and move him to New York. He cannot say, I will be busy 24/7.
Well, that can be hard on a child, all that recycled air.
He should be saying why it's good for his son to be in New York with him. I think, I don't remember how this is going to end, but I think he already is losing here in terms of convincing her to get his son to spend time more with him in New York.
Well, he's...
Okay, so now someone is calling. I mean, unless it's a child care provider who is calling, first of all, I would have my phone and silent quietly so that he can see who that is and would not pick up the phone while talking to her. I think this is the most important conversation they will have for his sake.
I noticed on one visit to Los Angeles, you came on a Sunday and left on a Thursday. Why not stay for a weekend?
That time...
Oh, that wasn't phone. That was something else. Well, I would have prepared the food before.
Lights and...
What's a weekend day like?
Theater. Well, out here he has basketball on Saturday at 11.
Yeah, now he's standing there with a knife, which is not a good idea when you're talking to a professional who is determining. I mean, he can cut himself, or he can be distracted.
Sorry, so we go there?
Or he can trigger her insecurities while seeing this tall man standing with a knife, even though it seems casual, but she doesn't know him.
Maybe we'll get lunch somewhere, and then if there's a movie to see...
I mean, all these little details, it's hard to predict, but I would tell the client to be 100% present, which he's not. And this is a problem. I mean, ordering food in would have been so much better in this particular, I mean, this is his life, and he's not taking it seriously, apparently.
Well, you know our home.
Okay, this is no go. He's approaching her, and he's doing this thing with a knife. I mean, that's not good.
Is in New York. That's where we live.
New York is a long way from here.
No, we like it because we can walk.
You can walk here?
Not really.
Okay, so now he is challenging her because she is in LA. She obviously loves to be in LA based on her response, and he's not gonna win this words better to live conversation. It's about what is best for Henry.